Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by King of the Cage Welterweight and Junior Welterweight champion, Joshua Aveles. Joshua, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good. Joshua, the last time we talked was back in February. You were getting ready to fight Keto Andrews in a rematch of a fight that happened in November of 2013. The first time around, it didn't go your way, but the second time around, you finished him with a highlight reel knockout, a knockout of the year candidate for sure. It was a great performance on your end. You finished him with a front kick in the 5th round of that title fight rematch. Let's go back to that fight. How pleased were you with the performance in the fight?
I was very pleased. In that fight, due to the fact of it was redemption. Not only that, also to get my belt back, but on just the fact on how I dominated him from the opening round into the moment I finished him. Because that guy was just one of those guys that was just so cocky and just talking a lot of stuff, and it was just good to shut his mouth in that fashion.
Right. Now, talk to me about up until that point in the fight. You know, how much do you think you were ahead? Do you think you were ahead 3-1? Do you think you were up 4-0? Because you showed, a real killer instinct there, going for the finish in the 5th round. So, where do you think you were at in the point of that before the stoppage?
I knew I was way ahead on the scorecards. I knew I was winning every round. But as in a fight, I don't think about that. I think about to find my openings and pick my shots, and if the opening's there, take it, and if it's not, beat them until it is.
Now, talk to me a little bit about how you set up the knockout, because he was ducking his head real low. I don't really know what exactly he was doing, but he was dropping his head very, very low. Was that something that your corner was yelling, kick, 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 or was it something where, maybe you looked at it and was like, okay, the next time he ducks his head, I'm going to go with the kick, or was it just on instinct? You just saw his head go low and you were going to throw a kick and it, boom, landed. Talk me through the finish there.
I believe it just came down to instinct, to tell you the truth, because my corner was yelling out knee, 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 and then I don't know. I saw the opening and I saw his face right there. I didn't see hands or knees on the mat, so I let the kick go and it landed, and there went his nose.
Right. Now, what's the sweeter victory? Is it the one against Keto Andrews, or is it the one against David Gomez, now that both fights have taken place?
I would say that the Keto fight, due to the fact of just the type of emotion that went into that fight, as far as him just being one of those cocky people that just thinks he's on top of the world, and even though he hasn't really conquered anything in the sport, but he's just has that big of a head, thinking that he's God's gift to earth, and that was just the sweetest part of it.
Now, obviously, it's your job. Your job is to go in there and finish guys, or hurt them to put on an exciting fight and to get paid, but it's part of the job. But do you feel bad at all? Like maybe not for Keto Andrews, but for other opponents when you really put a beating on them like that? Because Keto Andrews was really messed up. His nose was completely messed up. His face, I think he had to have 2 plates put in his face. It was really, really a brutal beating you laid on him. Do you ever feel bad about that? I know it's your job, but I know it might be a weird question, but do you ever feel bad about some of the beatings you put on these guys?
Of course I do. Even though I do fight for a living and I make my money doing this, I'm a human being. I have a heart. Of course I did. I saw him in the back. Even though it felt good to beat him the way I did, I saw him in the back, and I tell him, even though we fought and we had beef going into this, and I never wanted this kind of damage to happen to you. I'm not that type of person. Yes, when I go in there, I do have a killer instinct, and I will hurt you in there. But after the fight, let's just say, my other persona comes in, my everyday life. It's not something I like to see. I don't like to see people get hurt. I don't know. It's weird. I can do it in there. I can do it in the ring, no problem. But after the fight, I try not to, carry that killer instinct outside the ring. If you understand what I'm saying?
I see. Yep, I understand. Now, when you were walking into the cage, you had the eye of the tiger. You were very. It seemed like you were very angry going into the fight. Was there some anger? And if there was, how were you able to control it? Because a lot of times we hear fighters, "Oh, don't fight with anger, don't fight with emotion, because it'll mess you up." But you seemed like you were really intense, really into the moment, and you performed beautifully. So, was there anger? And if so, how were you able to control it?
I think I'm one of those few breeds, few that actually fight good in emotion. I don't know. I guess I could control it pretty good. I just take it in my mind. Yeah, I'm going in there to do what I have to do. Because of what he was saying and stuff like that. But at the same time, I know it's like, okay, you got a 5-round fight. Each round is 5 minutes. Don't go in there and kill yourself in a couple rounds because the tables could turn so easy. So, yeah, it's something I've learned to control, but at the same time, it's a plus for me.
I see. Since then, your life has really changed. You become, one of the faces for King of the Cage. I saw it was at like the San Diego Convention Center. There was this big thing about slot machines and stuff like that, and you've turned into the face of King of the Cage. Like a couple years back, Tony Lopez was considered the guy. He had the heavyweight and light heavyweight belt. Then Abel Cohen was the guy for King of the Cage, the poster boy. Then Donald Sanchez was the poster boy. Now it's you. Do you feel that you're getting that push from King of the Cage? Do you feel like you're the guy of the organization?
Well, of course I do. I just been blessed to be in this position. Coming from where I came from and my background, it's just a blessing to be here, to even be alive and breathing, especially from where I came from. Like I said, just to surpass that statistic of a young Hispanic kid growing up in the neighborhoods and stuff like that, and just come out on top, and be blessed to do something so skillful as fighting. It's just a blessing, and I've put in the work and I've put in the time, like Tony has before him and Donald before him and all these guys before my time. They put in the work to be where they are, and I'm doing the same, but I'm hoping to surpass the average person. Yeah, because like I said, I'm just blessed, man. I'm just blessed.
Right. Now, King of the Cage released their top 10 knockouts in the history of their promotion, and you think of King of the Cage, you think of all these legends who have fought there. There's been so many great guys and women. Ronda Rousey fought there as well, and we'll get to her involvement in your story in a second. But you think of all the great fighters that they've had under that banner, and you were on that countdown not once but twice, and not only were you on there twice, you're the number one knockout of all time. So the first question is, what's the better knockout, the Keto Andrews one or the Johnny Cisneros one, in your opinion?
My opinion, I think they go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other.
Right.
Why? But what I mean by that is, without the Johnny Cisneros one, I would have the Keto one, because having that knockout over Cisneros, because going into that one, I'm going up in weight to 185. I fight at 170, going up to 185, and fighting such a tough guy as Cisneros at the time, which he was undefeated.
Right.
Nobody wanted to fight him. It was hard for him to find fights. They called me. We took the fight, and then right after that, I got my title shot, and now I'm here. So. Yeah, like I said, you can't have one without the other, I guess.
Well, they're both great. There's no really right or wrong answer in this situation, because they're both devastating and just pure excitement and just great knockouts. But when you got the news when you saw the video, I don't know if they told you beforehand, but when you saw the video and saw yourself on there not once but twice, what went through your mind?
Wow. that was my number one thought. I thought, wow. The production guy, Steve Inman, he tagged me on Facebook like at 12 midnight, and that's when I saw it. I had no idea they were doing this. I no clue that they were doing some kind of footage of this. And then come to find out, I'm on there twice. It was wow, wow. I was shocked.
Now, like I brought up earlier, the San Diego Convention Center, there was like a King of the Cage booth, and on this big banner thing that they had Uriah Faber and I believe Rampage on one side, and then on the other side I think it was you and Ronda Rousey, and these are three of the greatest fighters in the history of this sport, and you on this banner. So when you saw that, what was running through your mind when you saw this, you being a part of this great company?
It's unbelievable. It really is. That's all I can say. It's unbelievable. Like I said earlier, I'm just blessed to be in this position. I never thought I'd be in there, let alone be on a banner with three other, legends of the sport, as far as Ronda, Uriah, and Rampage. It's amazing. It was an amazing feeling just seeing that whole scenario play out. I was just kind of living in the moment at the time.
And it gets better for you because not only are you on this big banner, you're also on a slot machine with Rampage, Uriah Faber, and Diego Sanchez. So what's that like? Because this slot machine is going nowhere. It's going to be seen by a lot of people for a long time to come. So when you see that, is it more of the same feeling of the banner, or is it greater because of the product that's on?
It's greater. It's greater because a banner's a banner. A slot machine is going to be in different casinos, who knows, around the United States or even in different countries. And yeah, I'm on this slot machine with Diego Sanchez, Joe Stevenson, Uriah Faber, Rampage, and Ronda's on it also.
Oh.
So, it's amazing. It really it's kind of a shock and awe kind of feeling. Yeah, it was amazing when I first saw it. They showed me how it worked and everything, and I was speechless. It was great. It was great.
Were you the only guy King of the Cage brought to that event? Only fighter. I mean,
fighters.
Yeah.
Yes, I was. But there was the voice, Dean Stone. He was there, the announcer, King of the Cage.
Right.
The icon, Big D. He was there also. Terry, he was there. Mike Lowe was there, and a few of the ring girls and a couple guys that handle the work backstage.
Oh, I see. Now, obviously, a lot of this stuff is, incredible. You stuff that you said you never even dreamed of could happen. You're on this banner with all these great fighters, on a slot machine with all these great fighters. You're top 10 knockouts, not once but twice, and you're the number one guy. Like just a bunch of different stuff has happened to you from when we talked in February till now. Besides that, what else has changed in your life?
Not much, I'm just one of those that just live day by day, and that's it. I'm just happy. My son is healthy. He's alive. He's awesome, man. It's just live by day by day, and wake up every morning, thank God everybody's healthy, and just live it. About it.
Now going forward, you're going to be fighting on June 6th. You're going to be taking on Joe Condon at King of the Cage Slugfest. From now until the fight, what's your schedule looking like? Obviously, coming up, it's fight week, so I'm sure all the hard training is done now. So what's your routine like, and what's your schedule like leading up to the fight?
Now just getting the weight off, keeping the technique going, and keeping the cardio up. Other than that, it's just, then we'll probably have some interviews, of course, before the pre-fight. We have the pre-fight interviews and stuff like that for King of the Cage. And then, just getting the weight down, keep cardio up, keep the technique, stay sharp, stay focused, and get ready for the fight come this Thursday.
Your last fight against Keto Andrews, you regained the welterweight title. This time you're putting your junior welterweight title on the line, the 160-pound belt. Just curious, is it difficult for you to make 160? Is it something that you have to really scale down the diet, really focus on that, or is it easier than I think?
It's easier. It's easier due to the fact that I'm a really small 170. I'm probably the smallest 170 out there right now competing at 170 at welterweight. Mm-hmm. I walk around at 173, in the gym. I walk around at 170, so making 170 is really not hard for me. So making 160, it of course it has its pros and its cons. I gotta, little watch what I eat, stick to a certain diet, try not to have so many cheat days, but
right.
That's kind of hard.
Right.
But yeah, as long as I stick to a diet and do what I have to do, 160 is usually no problem. But yeah, just sticking to that diet is the one that kicks my butt sometimes.
Right. Now you're fighting at 160. Would you be open to a drop to 155? Would you be open to fighting at lightweight, try to grab that belt as well?
If it's in the hands, if it comes to fruition, I'll do it. I'm just one of those that just lives it by the day, man. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, I'm just going to enjoy my ride with my 2 belts that I have right now.
I see. Now you're going to be taking on Joe Condon. What are your thoughts about him as an opponent?
I know he's going to be tough. You don't go fight for the belt and not be tough. So I know he comes from Joe Stevenson's Cobra Kai up there in the high desert, and Joe Stevenson is his head coach. And Joe Stevenson is no joke. Mm-hmm. He's a big name and he's a very tough guy. So I know that it's going to rub off on the students. So I know, and they're real big on the ground and the ground game and the clinch game and stuff like that. So I know what I had to work on, and I know Joe's coming. Joe's coming to try to take my belt, and I'm not going to let him do that. Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to punch him in his face until he stops coming.
Mm-hmm. Do you view this matchup between you and Condon as a striker versus grappler match? Because a lot of people do, because you look at your record, you have a ton of knockouts on your resume and you love the striking aspect of the sport, and then on his resume he has no knockouts and all submissions when he gets a finish. So do you view it as a striker versus grappler matchup like everyone else?
Well, if you, of course, like you just said, if you look on paper, it kind of, I guess you could say that is striker versus grappler, but it's MMA. Mm-hmm. You got to be well-rounded, of course, in this game to be top dog. So I know Joe is going to be coming with the all-round game. He's going to have stand-up. He's going to have, of course, his ground is going to be better than the stand-up. But you always got to be ready for everything. Mm-hmm. I'm ready for everything. I know a lot of people, maybe including them, think that all they have to do is just take me down and it's over. I say to all those people is, you can try to get me down, and if you get me down, don't be surprised when I'm choking you to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, he said in a pre-fight interview, King of the Cage put out a video of you and him talking about the fight, and he said it's nothing personal, he just wants the belt. But at the same time, doesn't it have to be a little bit personal? Because he's going in there to lay a beat down on you and take your belt from you. So it's not like he's going to call you up and say, "Hey, Josh, can I borrow the belt for a couple weeks, and then when I'm done playing with it, I'll give you it back." Like it has to be a little bit personal, right?
Yeah. Well, you could take it personally. Well, I kind of do. Reason why is because he's trying to come and take what is mine. You know, what I fought so hard to get, and what I trained so hard to keep. And not only that is I take it as he's trying to take food off my son's table. As far as that, so I take it personally. I know it's business, and we can shake hands afterwards. We can even have a beer together afterwards. I hold no grudges after the fight, but before the fight, I don't want to shake your hand. I don't want to even see you. To be totally honest, I'm just that type of person. Yes, I can see you in public. Yes, I can wave hi and say hi, how you doing? But that's as far as it's going to go. When fight's over with, yeah, I'll sit down and have a beer with you. Hey, we can even have a few beers, you know. But until then, it's personal.
Mm-hmm.
Until then, we're gonna have to punch each other in the face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, is this the first defense of the junior welterweight title, or you defended it before?
No, this is my very first time defending this 160 title.
Oh, I see. And now the fight's taking place at the San Manuel Indian Bingo Casino in Highland, California. How far is the trip for you? How close do you live, or how far do you live from the venue?
For me, it's about a half hour to 45 minutes from where I live. You know, depending on, you know, God forbid there's traffic
right.
or
right.
or an accident on the freeway. But
right.
Other than that, yeah, it's no more than a half hour, 45-minute travel for me.
Mm-hmm. Are you bringing a good crowd? Do you have a lot of people coming to support you?
Yes, I have a good sized crowd of family, friends that are coming out and supporting me. You know, so that's cool. You know, it's just awesome to see that I have, you know, support. You know, that's always good to see that you have so much support when you go to a fight and you just hear your name being chanted. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, with your welterweight title, you've had this kind of run where you win the title, then you lose the title, then you regain the title, then you lose the title, then you regain the title, and now you have it back. What do you have to do to keep the belt and keep defending it and break this pattern of losing it, winning it, losing it, winning it? You know, what do you have to do to remain champion?
Keep winning. Plain and simple.
Right.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, well, my 170 title, I made a few mistakes that I learned from. So I'll just let it be said right now that those mistakes will not happen again, and my 160 title is going to be staying with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of people who say, you know, being at the top of the mountain, there's so many people gunning for you, but you're at the top of two mountains. So how's that? You know, having not only one weight class gunning for you, but another whole weight class because you have two belts. So how does that feel?
Yeah, it feels good. You know, to be on top of the mountain right now, with two titles, it feels good. You know, I know everybody's gunning for me. I know I have a huge target on my back. And it's on me to just to keep that target on my back. You know, it's on me to keep focused and keep putting up these fights that everybody loves so much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How do you see the fight ending against Joe Condon?
Of course, I see it with my hand raised.
Right.
You know,
right.
I'm not the one to say. I'm going to call it by knockout. I'm going to call it by submission. I just know I'm going to be victorious. I'm not going to tell you when. I'm not going to tell you how. I just know I'm coming in to fight. I put in my work. I put in the time. So if he wants to take it from me, he better know that he's going to have to work. He's going to have to know that he got to die in that cage to take what is mine.
Joshua, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Of course. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my team, Team Diamond. You know, without them, I would not be here. You know, without my manager, Carlos, and my trainer, Alva. You know, because a lot of people don't know that his wife also helps me with my technique. She's a big part of my stand-up. All my training partners from Team Diamond. My sponsors, Lucas Oil, my big sponsor, you know, they're wonderful. Adriana's Insurance, another one. Never Quit, Killer's Tattoos, Magic Sweat. And let me tell you, everybody out there, about Magic Sweat. You guys need to cut weight, look up Magic Sweat. Those, you know, you heard about Abilene, you heard about Sweet Sweat. This right here, Magic Sweat, works 10 times better. And, of course, you know, as I always do, rest in peace to my brother Steven. You know, I keep his memory alive, and I keep it going for our last name, Aveles. That's what I do.
Joshua, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck June 5th at King of the Cage Slugfest against Joe Condon.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you having me on again. This is always a pleasure. Whenever you want me on again, just give me a call.